There we go. Hey guys, welcome to Mr. Kevin and Nick's STEM or STEAM craft. We are super jazzed today because we got a really interesting craft today. Do you want to tell us what the craft is, Nick?
Okay, so this craft is a crayon resist craft.
Ooh, crayon resist craft. Do tell.
So you'll end up drawing a zodiac sign, whatever zodiac sign constellation is yours. You'll draw
Oh,
that.
wow. And what is the zodiac sign? What is it based on? How do I find out my zodiac sign?
So you can actually either look it up or you could look at the sheet and it tells you exactly, like, for Capricorn, it's December 21st to January 18th.
Oh, fantastic. So if you come into the library, we'll give you one of these sheets with that information. You can also find it online, or if you ask someone who might know your star sign, and you just find it out by using your birthday, right?
Yes.
All right, so you just take your birthday, you look it up. All right, what is yours, Nix?
I am actually on the cusp
Oh,
of Capricorn and Aquarius.
oh, cool. So you have two star signs. Wow. So I'm December, and so I'm a Sagittarius. So what we've done is, let's go over what we'll need for the craft. So you'll need the star sign information. What else will we need?
We will need a paintbrush,
Paintbrush.
water, our watercolor palette from the last craft,
Nice.
a white crayon, and that's really it.
Okay, excellent. So we got our stuff. We got our watercolor paper. We got our paints. We got our crayon for the resist part. And we got our brushes. All right. So next what you do is you look on the star sign and you choose the one that you want to do. Which one are you going to do? Are you going to do one or are you going to do both?
I'm probably just going to go with Aquarius.
Excellent. So Nix is going to do Aquarius. I'm going to do Sagittarius. Now there's a couple ways to do this. So you can just take your crayon and you can make the marks. Now I have gray. I'm going to try mine in gray, and Nix is going to try theirs in white. And so you're just going to make the marks. You're not going to color the whole thing in, but you're just going to do the stars at different dots. And then after you paint it, then you can connect the dots. Or no, before you paint it, you can connect the dots. So we suggest doing the dots first or the stars first. So let's just hop on in and start doing it. So just take a look at your sign. We'll move this here to the middle.
Yep.
Make it a little easier. And go.
And I would also say if it gives you enough room, you could do it this way too.
Ah, good idea. So you can. I think that's a great
Because
idea.
I think Aquarius would be good this way.
Yeah, I think
because the way it is.
wonderful idea. So okay, so I've done mine here. I did mine in gray so you could see. So this is the star sign. This is what all the stars in my star sign look like. And I'm also going to add a moon. I'm going to kind of color the moon in just a little bit, just for effect. And what does moon have on it? Really craters, right? So we'll put some of those in. Maybe some a lake on the moon.
Now the hard part about this is I normally use my shadow to try and figure out where I like colored because I layered the crayon up, so it kind of shows up with my shadow.
Well, that's why we gave you two pieces of paper in the kit. All right, so you can practice because it's not the easiest thing to do white on white. you have to remember where you did it. You can always make pencil marks first. So I'm going to start in quickly with my painting. So now what you do is you do a light wash of color over this whole thing. And anywhere that you use crayon, which is mostly made out of wax, the paint will not stick. So let's see what happens. Take your time. Next we have all evening. Or day, whatever it is.
I'm gonna look at this again. Just because I think I'm doing it right, I just want to make sure.
Okay, as with any watercolor, you can just do a little water and a lot, and you can make all sorts of different effects. Do some black here. All right. So I'm going to gently let this dry. So, but as you can see where the crayon was, the paint isn't sticking. So I'm going to let this dry. And while we're waiting for Nick to finish up their painting, what we're going to do is I'm going to talk to you about mistakes. Because I made a mistake earlier.
I made one just now.
Oh, see, mistakes are what happens sometimes if you're in a rush or sometimes by accident. But mistakes happen all the time here at the library. So the thing is what did you learn from your mistake and how did you change things from there on out? So I usually like to do the craft beforehand so I have one to show you. So this is the one I did right here. You can see the colors, but then I wanted it to dry very quickly. So I put paper towel over it, which did this. It took away most of the color. As you can see, my painting is very, very light. You can see the dots and the stars, and I'm going to highlight them. But this is what happens sometimes. It's a mistake. So my painting is more on the paper towel than it is on the painting because I was in a rush. But mistakes happen. So let's try to salvage this. I'm going to take a marker and I'm going to connect the dots. And so that way I still have something fun to look at. And then I can always also repaint it. Okay. Okay, so there we go. I've connected the stars, and I got my star sign there. And then what I can do later is I can redo the paint, but I'm just going to let it air dry. So that's the important thing, is to let it air dry. So the color really absorbs into the paper, and then once it's dry, then you can put it between two books to flatten it out. Okay, don't get nice books that can absorb a little water, take a little, but heavy books so you can flatten it out. So that is my star sign there. But I think I mostly learned a little bit about star signs and I learned a little bit about painting. But most importantly, I learned from my mistake. How's it going, Nick?
I just realized after painting that I forgot to connect.
There we go. Another mistake. It happens. But I like the colors choices.
Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic.
Kind of wanted to make it look like that there were different like planets, not even just moons, just planets.
I think it looks really good.
You don't want to like add too much just because it might just like not ruin it per se, but just like add too much water.
You know, another thing you could do with white crayon and white paper is you can send secret messages. So you can write a message in crayon, in white crayon, on the paper, and then give it to a friend and say, hey, paint this, and it'll give you a message. And that's exactly what will happen. If you paint over it, all the area that's white on white will show up, and then your secret message will be revealed. Oh, it's looking good.
Thank you.
The Nix is almost done with their painting, and so we'll check that out in a moment. But this has been a really great STEAM activity. So much fun.
Now it just needs to dry.
All right, so it needs to dry. Do you want to hold it up for the camera?
Yep.
Check it out.
You can't really see it, but I'll move it a little closer.
Yeah, so the lines will become more pronounced, or you can see them better when the painting dries.
Yep.
And you can always do stuff afterwards if you want to, like I did, where I connected the stars with marker, or you could just leave it like this. So this one is drying up nicely, okay? And that is our craft today, the star signs. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you have a good time? You had a great time today. Please join us next week for another STEM or STEAM craft. And please don't forget Miss Amy's craft or coloring time this Thursday at 6:30. And please check out Providence Community Library's YouTube channel for many, many, many other wonderful videos. Thank you so much for joining us. See you later. And when you're down, get creative.